Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, with a player ranked #1 in the world by Dark, and the red the final boss. It's Dark. Up against his greatest rival, and the rank 1 Protoss in the world, we have herO. A best-of-7 Protoss versus Zerg showdown. Between Dark's barely controlled chaos and herO's reckless aggression, this is either going to be one of the best series of all time, or a total disaster piece. But if you're willing to enjoy either of those things, it'd be awesome if you could tell the algorithm by smashing that like button. And maybe even subscribing. And Jimmy, what are we at? Yeah, best of 7. 1,515 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. And I hear every 1,000 likes we get, we can stave off Dark's retirement for another month. Citation needed. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far, and hopefully, it's about to get just a little bit better. Dark, of course, has a drone in the base. Conventional wisdom says drone scouts are inefficient and unnecessary. Conventional wisdom will not apply to this match, so we don't have to worry about it. As Dark, always looking for an opportunity to make sure the Protoss's life is hard and a little extra stressful. And a drone scout that early could turn into a proxy hatch. Honestly, I think if herO would have blocked his base with the probe, then he just slaps down the proxy hatch, and that's the kind of series we're going to have. But starting things off on Abyssal Reef, herO with a unique architectural philosophy, which is, instead of walling off, I'd rather not. The Overlord will be poked away by an early Stalker. Of course, the drone scouted the Stargate, and the fact that it's Protoss versus Zerg also helps scout the Stargate, as anything else is either remarkably cheesy or ill-advised. The Overlord trying to evade the persecution from the Stalker, but the Stalker stalks successfully. Mission accomplished. The Oracle also came in. Very nice of herO to show the Oracle to Dark. Very sporting. There's no reason he had to show it. So while you saw the Stargate, only about 3 out of 4 times is it an Oracle, especially with herO nowadays trying some Void Ray builds to open things up and maybe deny some extra scouting, but no. He flies the Oracle by the Overlord and takes in its last words, which I assume were something like, Forge is on the way. As well, where's the Twilight? Is he just gonna hard wall off herO with his little Stalker avenue? Making sure that things are well controlled and Border Patrol has an opportunity to check any units coming in and out. The Oracles will have a leisurely flyby of the Queens, who are unable to chase him down, but certainly can voice a strong opinion against their presence here. A very common one at that. Lair is on the way. It looks like neither player too intent on early aggression, but Dark is going to be sending in the Shady Bunch. Handful of Adepts looking to use the Oracles for both Revelation and cover against mass Zerglings. You are forced to build some Lings, some Queens. This is to limit the Zerg economy without actually having to kill anything. Anything he gets here is a bonus, because Dark has already been forced to build some Zerglings. He has to keep those Queens on their many yet fragile toes. Let me see those toes, Queens. Check out my Dronely fans by liking and subscribing. Shady Bunch coming in. He's actually joined up with a couple more Adepts, escalating things. Will he complete the shade into the main? He does. And, well, actually, a bit of a danger. A single Zergling will trigger the stasis. The Oracle's herO cancels into a recall. So we'll get most of those Adepts out, being quite annoying to Dark here, but not finding a significant amount of kills. Yeah, wait. And by that I mean 1 Adept for 2 drones, 3 Zerglings, and an Overlord. So herO getting all up in Dark's grill in a way that Dark usually does to pretty much anyone else. It's just herO has this... He knows Dark too well. And Protoss is uniquely suited to exploit some of the things that even Dark is able to do with Zerg. And speaking of, despite all of these early shenanigans, despite building up a Twilight Council with Blink and +1, that is not going to stop herO from slapping down a fleet beacon to call in probably a Mothership and then other various parts of the fleet and the Golden Armada so early on. 6 minutes in, fleet beacon. Already Hydra's on the way for Dark. He's at 68 drones. He's building 2 more hatcheries. If he was going to go all in mid-game timing, it would be now. But he's adding 2 more hatches. He's adding more drones. This, to me, indicates an interest in playing out more than a couple more minutes of the game. And the infestation pit and lurker den make it a little more obvious. Carrier on the way, as well as +1 air weapons. And it's going to be turtling to carriers. This is what we're doing. How does Dark handle it? Recently, Dark has been going for these big mid-game timings, but very clearly here, he's not interested in that. But instead is trying to progress up to... Was that Steve? Steve? Where did Steve go? Steve, the space... Well, not really the space shark, just like a regular water shark. Which is the natural habitat of shark. Anyways, Steve may make a cameo appearance. You can see his shadow at most times. Forge still walling off. Interesting herO. Won't wall off to the 3rd, but he will hard wall himself in. On this map with the plateau towards the center, very difficult to actually deal with it. The Oracle. Not quite dead. A lot of prancing around for all these units, but Dark is up to 80 drones. Hive has begun. Hydraless speed is on the way. A couple more gas geysers as well. All the fancy upgrades. Where are these stalkers? The stalkers are stretching their legs. Is he trying to hide them? It's possible. Making sure that those stalkers... maybe suspecting Mutas. It's very odd, to be honest, from Dark to just sit back for this long. But, for now, it appears he's fully embraced that late game style. We have skipped the mid game entirely. No back and forth with Immortals and Storm against Hydras and Banelings. There are no Banelings. There notably no Storm, but a Templar Archives is about to complete. hero's going to have 4 bases. Dark is going to have 5. But carriers have already arrived, which is the composition to beat. Already Vipers. We've got Nanomuscular Swell for Hydra Lunge. Lurker range is on the way. +2 ranged attack. We have +2 upgrades across the board for herO. +2 air, armor, and ground weapons. So, bit of a macro game on our hands. About the closest you'll get to no rush 10 minutes in professional play. A Dropper Lord on the way. A Lurker drop? Just like a casual Lurker drop? Just throwing a few in. You still want Lurkers, even if you're up against a Sky-Toss composition. It's not the carriers that are the major danger. The carriers just capitalize on the amount of space that Storm allows you to carve out. The Psionic Storm ability just washes away Hydras. It's quite good against Corruptors and Mutas, especially Mutas. Not so great against Queens and Lurkers, as they can weather it a little more easily, but those are also the most difficult units to bring to bear. So the Lurkers are here to zone out the ground army, while the Hydras, in this case the Hydras, maybe can contest everything else. Now, that very interesting... I don't think he's actually seen the carriers. Oh, Steve. Stop it. He has not seen the fleet beacon, but it's been 10 minutes in ZVP, and he hasn't moved. There are carriers, okay? He knows. He doesn't have to see the carriers to know they're there. And Dark has actually built up a bit of a Sporchard out in front, adding even more of them, turning it into a full-on Sporist. As we blaze past the 10-minute mark with our first semi-engagement. 5 Zealots. Until this point, herO had only lost 1 unit. 12 Spore Crawlers and a Nydus network is on the way for Dark. So, that's a pretty clear indicator of where we're going. But, a Nydus, mass Nydus Lurker into the main, and then eventually try to force herO into a base trade into more Spore Crawlers than maybe maxed out carriers can handle. There are already 22 Spore Crawlers, so Spore Crawlers were buffed. I'm using air quotes there, in case you're not watching. Shout out to my blind viewers. Kind of have to. But Spore Crawlers got buffed. They now do 20 damage per hit instead of 15, which is quite nice. But they have 300 HP instead of 400, which is a significant HP decrease. So if you have anything else to cover for them, they're better in the fight. But if they're out on their own, they easily get picked off. And right now, this is a porcupine defense from Dark. He's got the lurker spines, the spore crawlers, he's got infestors and queens, he's on the creep. The golden armada has been put together, and herO has spared no expense. He's going for +3, but in comes one. Get over here! He pulls out a third of the carriers, lunges away. herO actually blunked forward with the stalkers out of solidarity, and they will be eviscerated by the lurkers. Wow. herO tried to prevent the abducts from kidnapping most of his army, and wholly failing to do so. But he's going to circle around. Hydra's terrestrially bound, but the Viper yanks in yet another carrier, and it gets taken down from all sides. Mothership is on the way. Neural Parasite, Nydus in the main. And, well, what you don't know can definitely hurt you. The dark space of the base is now filled with dark as the lurkers dunk down. Recalls back to the main. Hydra's lunge forward, try to take out one of the Tempests, which herO is shifting into for more reliable damage. But the carrier's all over everything. Storm, I'm sure, is done. Tectonic destabilizers. Oracles knocked out of the sky. Guardian Shield on the last sentry, which survives with 1 HP. And so far, Dark is cleared out, but he successfully dragged herO back to his base, and now he's going to fill in the rest of the buffet table of Zerg tech. We have Banelings, Baneling Nest, Ultraless Cavern. Now, the one thing we're very conspicuously missing is Spire. No Corruptors, no Broodlords even, as a late game option. Mutas, okay, maybe, but no, but also maybe, but no. Dark has money in the bank. herO is nearly maxed out, but is not banking nearly as much. The thing is, if Dark, so we're far too, this is one of the most macro games. We're way too far off to speculate about the supreme endgame when bases start modding out. That's still another 20 minutes out. But there are now 2 Spires in production. The Spore Crawler count is going towards the 40s, just like most of the people watching this. And Spine Crawlers already growing in number as well. Lurkers dunk down to deal with the Charles Lot run by. Baneling speed is on the way. And, well, from here... Solid With that double Spire, he'll have, of course, the option for double upgrades. But herO already has +3 air with +1 armor. This is going to be a near full upgrade Protoss, and about the minimum possible time while still actually building units. Dark is keeping his options about as open as possible. But, and so far he's decided, instead of engaging the army heads up, to just go around and build up. But again, he hasn't really denied that much of herO's mind. Steve! Oh my. Okay. So many times. Terrifying. Meanwhile, yanks in a couple carriers, knocks them down. Parasitic Bomb helping out with the Mothership, the centerpiece here. The Time Warp, not too effective, but the Tempest with Tectonic destabilizers, with the extra Dorito dust on those shots in order to maximize it. But Dark, he's got infestors. He got Neural Parasite a while ago. He's waiting for his moments here. And Tempests are quite good against Tempest. Has herO actually seen the infestors? It's not clear. Revelation does not hit them. I assume there's some observers out there, but he yanks, he grabs 3 of the Tempests, he brings them in, 4! Not even trying to use them against his opponent, but instead just knocking them down with the Hydras at a safe distance. But the Templar are coming in to clear it out. He knocks out 4 Tempests, holding them still with the stun of the Neural Parasite. And a Viper yanks a Tempest in from the grave, but feedbacks knock out a couple Queens. Another Tempest down. The exchanges will continue. The Spore Crawlers have knocked out most of the Interceptors that trade close enough, and the Tempest getting a little too close as well. Could maybe snipe some Templar carriers with them, but the Tempest... Okay, somebody needs to actually kill these. A bit awkward, but taking them down. We'll lose a couple more Hydras, actually, but so far, an incredible trade for Dark, which leaves him at about the same amount of resources lost. But in this sort of scenario, that's about the most you can ask for. Dark with 4K gas nearly in the bank, lunging away from the storms. More Tempest in production for herO. A wave of charge lots and banelings just passed each other, and none of them gave each other a second look. The banelings roll into the third. Stalkers are warped in. The probes will be slaughtered. But does herO really need them? He loses a dozen probes for like 20 banelings, which is still a pretty great trade. The spine crawlers and lurker spines combining. There's still 9 infestors. The Zergling's coming in. He only has +1 melee, but he does have adrenal glands to work with. Oh, the Tempest grabbed yet again. Knock out one of their brethren. And looking at the Mothership as well, which is taking a lot of damage from those Tempests. The Sporist is scattered throughout. But herO is... So, it feels like herO is offering up his arm so that way Dark doesn't cut off his head. Right now, herO is still maxed out. He has some money in the bank. And he's kind of quietly mining from those 2 northern bases. Dark knows about it, but he hasn't made a play for it. Oh, the bait and switch with the Mothership recall. The army's out of position. In this hatchery, he consumed it nearly to death. Oh, no. Oracle gets knocked out, which will be helpful. I don't know how many observers are with this army. Actually, none at the moment. Yeah, the observers are required to deal with the lurkers, but he knocks out a base, the bait and switch with the Mothership, and he still has access to the Nexus recall as well. Few charge lots running into a very unfortunate position. Does herO? He sees the Nydus, but he's not really paying attention. The Zerglings try to break through a bulwark of cannons, but they're just too damn many. Right now, there's 25 spores. There were many more before. He's actually lost 16 of them. But the lurkers are in the main base. herO, his entire tech tree could be cut off at the stump. The fleet beacon, most of the Stargates, the main nexus. That's probably the least important one. But the Templar are slowly gliding back. Multiple Nyduses, even Steve getting in on the action. The Observer, not quite taken down. He needs that vision. But the Interceptors are actually getting knocked out of the sky with relative ease. That one... I guess he has Revelation as well. The Fleet Beacon is about to go down. And without the Fleet Beacon, now 70 recalls to the main base. Is that a misclick? Either way, the lurkers are slowly chewing through. But the Tempest will be enough to force them into the multiple tactical escape Nyduses. 5 Ultras and a couple dozen Corruptors on the way. herO has lost a significant amount of his infrastructure. He lost a chunk of his units. But his economy, it's the economy, stupid. His economy is still intact. He still has plenty of probes. He's actually ahead on income because herO is working off more bases than Dark now. Dark just took that bottom left corner base opposite hero's. And herO has Templar and a Mothership already set up at preemptive defense. 6 Ultras on the way. But as Hydra once said, when I'm really far ahead and I want to lose, I build Ultras. So while Ultras are somewhat better than the time he made that statement, I don't know if against Tempest, Immortal, well, he wants to crush the Templar. That is the objective here. He needs to kill the Templar. Without the storms, oh, what is this? The tactical dunk right on top of the base. It can't catch a break. The Mothership brings in pretty much all of the army, and Ultralisk pops out into a world of fire and dies immediately. The Templar are retreating behind. Active cloaking. Dark can't see anything. He has to come in with the Overseers and the Corruptors. He's on top of it. Storms across the board. Neural Parasite helping out. The Tempest taking down the Corruptors. Storm over everything. And we'll just have to see who's left. Dark's army is fighting Dark's army with herO's army. He grabs an Archon to kill a Templar, which is really hardcore when you think about it. So what just happened? herO lost his entire Skytoss army. He's down to 1 carrier and 4 High Templar. But Dark has 4 Ultras, several of them bruised, 5 lurkers, and he just made a round of hydras. He has infestors, which use most of their energy in that last fight. So, and a bunch of corruptors that are a quarter storm away from death. So it appears Dark is just resecuring his position. If he can take another fight like that, but again, that fight happened on Dark's side of the map. He lost his hatchery and a bunch of drones before it began. It's starting to feel like Dark is winning every battle, and herO is winning the war. Because right now, Dark is not... He made no effort to break the bases. And fighting into half a dozen cannons and a bunch of High Templar with an army that's at 50% HP is certainly not an ideal choice. But at the same time, herO has rebuilt and his upgrades are amazing. Dark is also looking pretty solid, but it's so rare you see... And he's getting +3 air armor. All right, check that off your bingo card. Dark has rebuilt a whole bunch of lurkers. Oh, he's completely... He has no ant... He has 25 lurkers. Dark, what have you done? Lurkers, don't shoot up. You can't tilt them over and fire them into the sky. Maybe that would make it so they're a real anti-air unit for Zerg. But anyways, I digress. Those ultras, massive. Going to try to come through into the cannons. The lurkers will dunk down. Not a single one of these units can contest their golden armada. He has a handful of corruptors. He has a couple vipers. He has the infestors. But I think herO is very aware of that now. The lurkers are slicing through. No parasitic bomb. The interceptor count is so damn high. And how do you fight that? herO has remaxed out. He's barely been slowed economically this entire time. The fungals will slow things down, but that is about it. The lurker's on the high ground, but what are you even hitting? This base is mined out. Even the gas. The lurkers are headed back the other way. And he's gonna need another Hail Mary. 21 hydras on the way. Dark does not want to be caught without a ground army against Immortals and Templar. So he's not going Corruptor. But that's a lot of carriers. Immortal Archon, the Tempest, he's slicing through the robotics facilities. We could be going into a full-on base trade. And neither player has much with which to rebuild. Neural Parasite is still an existential threat here. He grabs an Archon, not exactly the ideal. The Corruptors are retreating. The base to the north is finally taken out by the Lurkers. The Hydra's working down the center. But Dark has no answer for the Armada at home. Parasitic Bomb is doing terrible, terrible damage, but mostly to the shields. And Dark is down to one base of mining now. herO is starting to fall apart at home, but recall should still be available. He recalls to the center base. The Hydras don't focus it in time. And the carriers have arrived, but it's kind of like the best scenario to actually kill some No. The Hydras are slaughtered. Dark supply plummets. He switched into mass lurker. And herO calls his bluff. I think the entire time Dark was ready to win the battle, but he never actually killed those bases. He ends up losing like 3,000 more gas. herO mines more resources by the end of it, because Dark, he put together the late game army. He borrowed some of herO's, but he just didn't aggressively expand in time. Unlike me, expanding my horizons when it comes to advertising some of the best content in StarCraft 2. You wanted to know how you could support more community tournaments? Well, enjoy your soup. No, not the tasty drink unless you want to be drowning in top-tier content. So, for those who don't know, Soup Live, yes, Soup Live, as spelled, is the Korean streaming sites, replacing some of the other sites we've had in the past. And if you go to souplive.com/super7s and follow, you can check out all these matches before my annoying voice is over the top of it. They got 119 followers right now. Hopefully, by the end of today, this first day of the video, we get 150. It's actually super easy to sign up, and the site is super smooth and looks great. This is not a paid advertisement besides the fact they sent me the games, just FYI. I just am looking for more active ways to support, and it's absolutely free. So, with that, thank you to Super Sevens. I think that is a reference to the best of sevens, or I'm completely off base. But we are playing a best of 7 here. herO takes game 1. But these two have gone back and forth. So many, actually, literally hundreds of times. It might be like over 300 or 400 series now between them. herO, the only player, well, maybe not the only player, but the only Protoss, I believe, to have a over 50% win rate against Dark. I'm not sure what Max Pax is at, but definitely the only Protoss in Korea, at the very least. And again, you'll find, Jimmy, put it all in the description and all that. No, you forgot that other, sorry. But check the description. There might be a comment or something. Oh yeah, and on the posts, after you follow, you can, they put like a poll on what map should be played first. Abyssal Reef should not be played first. Okay? So, El Dorado. If we're going to play a weird macro map, we're going to play El Dorado. So if you have an opportunity to comment for the next show matches, ask for El Dorado first. That is my favorite map to start off a series. If it's a crazy macro game, it's something interesting because of how the map is laid out. And if it's not a crazy macro game, at least it's over quickly. So, but my vote is for El Dorado for further matches. No more of this Abyssal Reef turtling for 15 minutes straight. Though, I guess we're still here, so thank you for watching. Drones. That's what they look like. A little weird when you, like little lobsters and a bunch of like bug lobsters. The probe is hot, and he actually managed to keep Dark from his natchery. Is there a stalker on the other side? No. Stargate is, of course, the choice. Adept is on the way. Probe. Wow. Was it worth it? It's a matter of principle. Alright. It's not whether I should, it's whether I could. Dark did sneak a couple lings out, though. What a play. herO, in a mind game, he sent the Adept Shade out where the Overlord could see it, and then canceled it when the Shade was out of vision. And now the Adept is gonna sit there and watch his probes die. Which is a really sick no. But Dark didn't expect there to be the Adept still back at home. It's a small mind game. Not actually sure it paid off, but it was a very deliberate action. Interesting. Oracle's on the way. Like 6 Zerglings, 8 Zerglings. And does he go for it? Is it worth trying to save the Obi? Well, if the Stalker comes down the ramp... Dark, here he comes. Looking for the surround, but the Oracle... Stop right there. He boxes out with the Oracle. These two battling it out over each little unit. Third base on the way. herO. Does he have his gas? His gas is 3 and 4. Energy recharge on the Oracle. And with it, I imagine Twilight and Forge. I don't have to imagine. At least most of it now. The Twilight's on the way. If he doesn't get a Forge, that indicates it's going to be some very heavy blink pressure. The Forge is not ruling that out, but it definitely takes a little longer to come online. Oracle comes in, the Queens. Politely yet firmly. Ask it to leave. Second Oracle and a third one. Even more Oracles on the way. See how far he goes with it. And this is a message from the Hatchery Owners Association. Brenda, don't talk to they're machines. No, they'll record anyways, we don't like your kind around here. Okay, you might be the firstborn. You're gonna be the first I don't... Did you get that out of your system, Brenda? Oh, shut up. I don't... Sorry. I... blacked out for a moment. Both Oracles badly bruised. How many kills? 6 kills ends up with. I guess some of that, the Zerglings, but yeah, rack it up even more, just sliding through. And another one coming in. Well, okay. Bit of a revolving disco ball here. And that, yeah, that's infuriating. Every single Oracle taking critical damage, but the shields will eventually return, and Dark is headed towards Mutas. An interesting, yet not particularly crazy choice. He knows he's up against these Oracles, but it's very unlikely herO will commit them very far into the base. They're also badly hurt that a few Queen Knitting Needles will easily take them down, so. Well, slaps down the Revelation. Blink Stalkers on the way across, a Robo Bay behind. This is the build herO used to great success against herO. That herO was going for a more typical Hydra timing, as opposed to roaching into, yeah, get off my creep, Brenda, we got bigger problems. Sorry. Oracle's trying to come into the natural, the Queen's pulling back. Dark has 65 drones. Spire's about to complete with 7-8 mutas in the bank. Zerglings engaging. Oh, herO's gonna spot it. I'm 90% sure herO saw it there. Does not have any Phoenixes in production. The Zerglings are just surrounding the Blink Stalkers, which will escape now. Does he just recall? The Zerglings don't have any upgrades, but they don't really need it here. Trying to ghetto Blink back with the Prism. Gets back up to the high ground. That's a big deal. But now 10 mutas to 11 mutas on the way. Did he not see it? Oh my. The Oracles did not quite get to the edge of the Spire. And now he'll be blindsided by a dozen mutas. Will he just send them straight across? Muta's not really fighting units, but used to force him into a really tough position. +1 melee is on the way. He's still making mutas and Zerglings. And if the Colossus count is kept low, then he can engage the main army as well. herO is completely unprepared. I was completely wrong. He's blindsided by the Mutalists. And without anything but Blink Stalkers, sure, he can drive them away, but the damage is already being done. It's only going to get harder to deal with these as time goes on. He's actually just fighting the Stalkers heads up. There's just not enough of them. Does a lot of damage to the Colossus. Revelation does tag a few of the mutas. 11 probes dead. And most importantly, herO just came back. herO came all the way back home to deal with this. He's not keeping the pressure on Dark. He's not keeping him from using his 4th base. Dark knows exactly what he's up against, and herO is racing against the clock. A genius timing for the mutas. A bit of a risk, but I think it's already paid off. He's gonna knock out 1 Oracle. Make that 2. The Phoenix comes up. That's actually a hard wall there. He can blink down to chase. A few not-so-charged lots just now finishing as the Queen's dealing with this. Couple mutas come out. The Queen's, well, it's not the easiest thing to take down these charge lots, but a couple of them are taken out. Muta's kind of scouting out. The Stalkers knock one out of the sky. But herO knows there's 2 tough choices. One is sit back and try to turtle up and let Dark take the whole of this massive map. 2 is try to force the issue before Dark has a maxed out army. And that's what he's trying to do, but mutas and Zerglings are literally the fastest units in the game. So good luck chasing them down in this scenario. He's on top of everything. The Colossus is brought low, and with it, herO's supply begins to plummet. Dark is still building the mutas. The Stalkers in full retreat. A few Stalkers actually hunting down some of the Queens. Somehow got to the opposite side of the map, jammed themselves into the mineral line, but not very efficient at killing off workers. 6 drones dead. The mutas are back with a vengeance. And the Queens will help sew them together as well. The Stalkers will be ripped apart. And herO in dire straits at the moment. Flyer attack level 1 about to complete. Dark is up to 24 mutas and counting. herO has 114 to 160 supply. the chase, and he knocks it out. The Mutas are far too, well, right? They're far too much. Not good. A little hard to tell what's going on under there. But no, the Stalker count has dwindled to almost nothing. That's it. The Stalkers are gone. There's nothing left. Dark strikes back. We're all tied up. Going into game number 3. Dark with a... So, it's not a huge gamble. You can go for 5. The thing is, if a Spire gets scouted when it's near completed, either way, it's still a benefit. As long as it's not scouted, like when it's less than halfway done, you still have the question of, are they actually committing to it? How many mutas? Is it going to be 5 mutas and then a bunch of lurkers? Or is it going to go 20 mutas? And you don't know. And by that point in the game, it's almost impossible to find a middle ground. You have to decide either to go in or stay back. And either is a tough choice. Interesting that herO is intentionally sending the first probe out, getting the pylon. He wants to block the base. We're back to blocking the base. Which is... I mean... Will he be able to do so? Dark, I don't think, went for the extractor trick or any crazy stuff like that. But the probe... And Dark not even bothering to come down the ramp for it. Extra early. There's a lot of math around what is the most economical, the best timing. In my opinion, if you can, even if it means cutting a couple drones in order to get the hatchery, it's worth it. Dark. Dark certainly has different opinions on where hatcheries should be placed and when, as the drone just goes across the map instead. Interesting. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, he's actually going to block herO's base. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to lay down a hatch, but if he gets the opportunity, yeah, he's already got the spawning pool and everything back at home. But how do you like it? And herO just gets the Cyber Core first instead. And Dark is now threatening a proxy hatch in the main. Oh, take the gap. Yeah. In many cultures, this is considered a dick move, but that's never stopped Dark before. Now, he both denied or delayed the expansion, and he stole the gas, which means he's now severely limited herO's options. herO will probably just end up taking a gas down here. This means he pretty much can't go Stargate. He just doesn't have the gas. It's going to have to be something completely different. Either that or he's just behind. Dark has used a very similar strategy against his opponent here. Now, how do you like it, Probe? I think he grabbed some of those minerals from Dark's base and is now flaunting it. It's the second pylon in the main. What's it gonna be, herO? A forge? Does he just skip the Stargate part and go to the Twilight? Another drone dodges into the extractor. With the quick re-up on the extractor trick there. He's just got a forge. Like, this isn't Platinum League. You do at some point want to decide on tech. But he just goes for +1. I guess he's just hedging his bets. It's good for everything. Alright. Overlord wandering in. Gonna be kind of surprised to see effectively nothing. I guess the forge is some information, but this could turn into like a +2 blink timing. Robotics facility is all the way. We're all over the place here. Then again, it's herO versus Dark, and the longer the series goes on, the less sense it's going to make. These two... This is not Protoss versus Zerg. This is herO versus Dark, which is another matchup entirely. There's gotta be a Twilight. He's gotta build a Twilight. Just gonna... It's like a 4-gate. This is not a wall. herO's got his turnstile here. His supply foyer. Supply closet. There's the Twilight. Doesn't really make sense. Just walk across with basic gateway units. Though, we're not ruling it out either. Zergling gets in. Because of course it does. You still got the extractor. Alright, like, Dark will scout the other parts of the base, and the Zergling will escape because the Stalker got distracted. This is still not a wall. But 5 minutes in, and Dark still has vision inside of hero's base. Some more Zerglings coming across, a bunch of roaches as well. Quite a hearty amount. 5 roaches in production. Plus 1 is about to be completed, though. This is, I have no idea. herO! This is not a wall. You could just go in. Dark's looking at it like, is that bait? No, it's just not a... If herO doesn't know what he's doing, how can Dark know what he's doing? Riddle me that. But Ravager Ling will be the choice. herO knows it's on the way. Dark has a good idea of what he's up against. Blink will not be completed. That's a lot of Zerg. Alright. The Zergling's looking for a surround. Needs to go quickly. He knows it's only going to get harder to break through from here. The Zergling's with a surround, but the shield battery's doing a good job so far. Force field zoning out. More shield batteries completing. Will he recharge the sentry? The shield batteries. Oh, Blink is now done and just in time. What a save! Oh, the timing is perfect. The Stalkers tuck themselves in and Blink out of the next wave of corrosive bile. He's filing through the pylons and batteries. It's all over the place, but the Blink Stalker defense from herO has been immaculate. Though Dark still has some economy at home, he's still breaking through the Stalkers. herO blunks on top. The Immortals, he's actually going to depower these pylons, it looks like, momentarily. The Ravagers will be taken down. Dark is droning, which is optimistic, but he just depowered all of the entire power core here. The Blink Stalkers, there's just not enough units. With a Zealot and +1, a dozen drones on the way, as Dark tries to salvage the situation economically. He starts a lair. But herO now can counterattack, and both players put a pause on any sort of economic or infrastructure progression. That wasn't... It's not a wall. He had a Stalker on the other side of a wall. It was never a wall, herO. He has, like, wall blindness. The Zerglings could have gotten in throughout all of this. He ends up only killing 4 probes. Make that 5. And now the Stalkers are on the other side. Oh my. And blocked. Brenda, no! Oh, that was just Karen. Oh, okay, that's fine. No. Now the War Prism being surrounded by Queens, the Roaches and Lings on the ground. What a hectic game. And now this is the Dark versus herO we've been waiting on. Sure, we had some crazy back row on both sides. Even last game was just pretty clear cut. But this is, well, we've dropped down into the mud and now we're rolling around. The Stalker creep clearing team. Dark is in a very uncomfortable position with his tech, but he still has an army that could be very dangerous to herO if he overestimates his position. Roaches and Lings can turn the tables incredibly quickly. But at the same time, I think herO has a very good gauge on exactly what Dark is doing. He's got an observer spotting for bases. He just cleared up a bunch of the creep. The Stalkers have been in the main. They're gonna spot an entire entourage. This isn't PvT, herO. What are you doing? picking off drones. 62 to 47 workers. herO's trundling across the map. Gonna be able to deny the 4th base. Roach speed is not yet done. Dark just goes for a counterattack because he can't fight that army heads up. Are we just gonna base trade? A full recall. And the army's back. But the Ravagers, playing Stalkers, spreading out. Roach speed is done. This is all Dark has. He has 90 to 60 army supply. Closes in with the Zerglings. 3 Immortals as a backstop here. That is a lot to contend with. Corrosive Bile dodges over to the side. Zerglings being cut down easily, making it a lot more concentrated. Those Immortals on the Roaches. And Blake Stalkers chasing it down. And Dark is thinning out dangerously quickly. The Corrosive Biles, he dodges with the Observers. I think he was looking for them explicitly, but Dark has money in the bank. But he can't really spend it. He doesn't have the hatcheries. He lost several queens. He literally cannot spend enough money to get rid of it now. He's building more queens with the excess minerals. But herO has opened up a supply lead, an upgrade lead, and he's taking bases at the same rate. Another queen assassinated. Oh no. Another wave of Corrosive Bile. He's just trying to... Here comes the army. Colossus, Immortals, the Prism still intact. The extended thermal lance completed. The Corrosive Biles are thrown up, but nothing will be knocked down. GG. herO strikes back. It's 2-1. I love how herO projected the idea of a wall and Dark didn't even test it. Not until later on. But even from the start, Dark's response to getting his base blocked was, well, my turn. No, not how I'll mitigate this on my side, but how I make your life difficult. But that seems to be a trend between these two. As we go to Neon Violet Square. Again, is he not bothering with the... Yeah, this map is just so massive. The distance, the squares, which don't actually show up on the minimap, which feels a little weird, but... If there was ever a turtle to Mothership rush sort of map, there's a back base with 4 mineral patches, half the usual, but 2 gas geysers. Usually when you have a back pocket base like this, it has less gas geysers, at the very least. But that's kind of designed for rushing to tech. And usually Sky Toss is the answer. Dark, of course, just takes the gold base because, you know, there's a gold base. It isn't in a very convenient location, but, and in fact, it has some weird, like, graphical glitch stuff going on, but it's here, and Dark found it. So here we go. And now what's herO doing? The Overlord will spot the... Has he played Dark enough on this map to scout for it immediately? Yes. Is he going to build... No, it's already too late to build a forge, right? I think you put down a pylon and pretend... Yeah. Well, Dark take the bait. Dark is just expanding to his natchery. He's calling his bluff. He's not going to pull drones down from the main. If you want a cannon rush, go ahead. But no. It was a fake. And I think he was well aware of that. The drones. Another awkward start for the workers, kind of eyeing each other. Zealot on the way. Another... What is this wall in? Is like... I always like, I'd gotta have airflow. No, one, I'm not even sure Protoss breathe. Cancels the Zealot. Another little mind game trying to fake out Dark, threatening to build a Zealot and pressure this base. But again, Dark just ignores him and has not... I don't even think he's built a Zergling. Oh, he has 2 lings. Sorry. So technically correct. Pedantically annoying. herO, why are you like this? Like, you want to see my new wall-off strat? No! Stop reinventing the wheel and coming up with neon violet squares! Ah! So, Stalker, but the Sentry! He's gonna be able to kill it. Will he get another shot off with the Stalker? He's going for the Overlord! The Brovi! Oh, he gets to that corner! Not close enough.
What a save!
And now we have this abomination. 2 more gates on the way. He's... What? What is that? He's just building 2 more gates. Not Stargates. Regular, like, normie gates. There's a Twilight on the way now, but he's going straight up to 4. He's not trying to take a 3rd. He's adding these gates before he's going to do some sort of timing. Probably charge. But Dark is now sending everything everywhere, trying to figure out. So Dark will not know that herO didn't take the back base, which seems like a lot of double negatives. But the summary is, the back base seems like the obvious play. Duh, you just take that free base. It's a free base. But in this case, herO is instead going for a crazy all-in. There are 6 Spore Crawlers on the way. Wait, okay. Oh. Yeah, the Oracle came in and he took the most dramatic possible response to it. And dodging it. He's going Adept Glaives with a Dark Shrine. And a Shrine to Dark is, you know, a bold move, but I don't think he's going to respond well to this flavor of flattery. The Roaches. Well, the shield battery trying to hold. And herO's decided it's time to show his hand. As again, we have a weird Scooby-Doo style chase as the Shade Adepts will get ahead of the Roaches and actually bully them out of the way. Though he's buying himself a lot of space with these. The Adepts are still... this seems like pretty far off the track now. He's actually going to just kill these Roaches, but how much time did it cost him? Dark has already built like 4 times as many Roaches now. So there are 16 Glaved Adepts. But there's 13 Roaches, 4 Queens, and he's on creep. And the squares are actually going to make it very difficult for the Adepts to move through. They're going to need to shade. But Dark now has enough Roaches to split his army in half and still probably have enough to deal with it. That's still so many Adept. What? The Adept firing line gets up close and personal. It's, well, but the DTs were warped in. And Dark way too slow on getting back up to the main. 8 drone kills so far. Roach speed just started, which seems remarkably late considering the situation. The DTs, but he has the Roaches in position already. 13 drones slaughtered. So the Adepts have been a qualified success. And gonna get a few more drones in the main. The Oracle coming in as well, but the Queens will shove it away and get off my Queen. Sorry. Oracle finally taken down 16 drones, but at the same, look at the supply. 122 to 78. As Dark now has 29 Roaches and 16 Zerglings. He's putting a few Ravagers together. Is there a... He could use a real-life Phoenix. If he could take down the Overseers, he could do a campaign-style DT Time. Did Dark ever see the Dark Templar? No. No. Oh my. herO backed off before revealing them. So Dark did not bring an Overseer. herO is also hilariously upgrading both forms of blink simultaneously. He's blinking with both eyes, which seems a little risky, but also on brand. Now, the DTs are called in. Force fields obviously could be helpful, but Ravagers can break them down. Well, there's no upgrades for either side. No weapon upgrades, that is. The DTs are going to be dropped in, but he's right on top of the Spore Crawler, almost loses the Prism. The drones are fighting, but who's going to stop the Zerg? They're ripping through everything at the front. There's no army left. He's just gonna kill the robot. There's a disruptor on the way? What? A Void Ray in production, and herO tried something new. But new doesn't always mean good. herO just slapped around by the roaches. Unless the DTs somehow win the game on their own, which seems unlikely. I think he lost the Prism as well. Yeah, the Queens came down and angrily knocked it out of the sky. herO trying to blink his way out of this situation. He has +1. He technically has a worker lead still, because Dark has taken such a ridiculous level of economic damage. But the Void Ray comes out. He's trying to charge up and target. Doesn't quite kill it. Are you dead yet, herO? Okay, well. Alright, we got micro the Void Ray away. But the trickle of corrosive biles. herO's now down to less probes than he started with, and we're all tied up. 2-2. Dark with a slapped together all in, but it works out because herO tried to go almost every direction with his tech in just a couple minutes. The Adept Glaives, very dangerous, but the major weakness being once they build up an army, you just don't have an answer. You have to rely on buying enough time and enough space. But Dark encroached upon it far too quickly. And that means we're down to a best of 3 to decide this. The Super 7 herO versus Dark best of 7 show match. Once again, remember those links. Jimmy, do we have the... Yeah. 150 followers. It's not that hard. It's like 500 more. Doesn't make any sense. That was a bad... Jimmy, edit that out. Not the promotion. Now what? We're on Frostline. I have no idea what to expect. Maybe the unexpected is the best expectation to have all along. And whatever other profound sounding platitudes we can fill the first 2-3 minutes with, since Dark didn't send a drone across the proxy hatch. But another hectic series between the two most chaotic players. Neither willing to back down from the aggression. After that, I think they both got bored with game 1, is what happened. I'm like, no, no more of this. No more 25-minute, 15-minute no-rush sky toss for either side. Something's happening. And they both obliged. The probe finally gathers. Dark is someone who will attack the probe. Right, it's a matter of principle. Some players will just let it go. Some players will fight against the mineral mining. But Dark will attack the probe, and sometimes kill it, like it's a Gold League game. And what is this? herO! herO once again coming up with a new and exciting way to make the wall-in look a lot more vulnerable than it usually should be. Like, we have a system. Why are you reinventing? I don't know. I don't know. I truly don't. But it's always interesting to see what herO will come up with as the wall for this game. Like a finger painting from a toddler. Or, whatever sort of Protoss modern art. Brought to you by the people who never learned how to repair their own machines. This wall off. He's just gonna jam a gate or something in there. Maybe it's to bait Dark into some sort of all-in? I don't... Well, now there's a Zergling in here. And the quarantine policy's not really working out. Adept will scout the third. Zergling gets in. Gonna nibble on some probes. Almost killing one. He spotted the Stargate and the Oracle on the way. But of course. Zergling speed. Yeah, the pylon is part of the wall. Well, okay. herO, how many goddamn times? Oh, there's an Oracle. It's fine. Okay. No. Still, though. Well, that was certainly an exchange. Meanwhile, Adept's into the main. Zerglings pin them up against the hatchery, but not before 5 drones are killed, and one Adept makes it into the natural. May kill a couple more. 6 drones killed by 3 casual. Dark is at 29 drones. He's building another round, but he's already far behind economically. He needs to deny the third and ideally get into the supply closet over here, but the Oracles are on the other side of the map, so he will likely deny this base. The Oracles are just floating in, gonna do some counter damage. The best defense is a good offense, but unfortunately the Queens are also good defense. So, the Oracles murdering a larva. The third base is canceled. Another Oracle comes up. Even more Oracles in production. It's gonna be 4 Oracles in total. I'm not even being rhetorical. Like, they'll write about this in the history books. The Loracles. But... At this point, the comments are definitely going to be Soracle, but... it's just another symptom of being so deplorable. There. On the way. Dark has recovered economically. herO now taking his third, so we just kind of hacked about 2 minutes out of the game there with all that aggression. The Oracle kill team looking for an opportunity. And whoop. Trying to come back in, but the Queens pulling it all together. Susan, Lucille, Patricia, don't tell Brenda. All right, we're gonna walk across the... What was that? You're not going to walk. We're going to use Overlords or Nydus. We've learned our lesson so many times. How many times do we have to go? See, this is why I don't want to invite her to anything. I heard that. Good. I don't... sorry. 5 Oracles. They're multiplying by some fraction of the number that's smaller each time to get one more, but lights up a couple drones. The second group of Oracles up to the north side. A Spire is on the way because of course it is. Madness. Spire halfway there, but he's killed so many drones. 16 drones. Has he lost a single Oracle yet? No. This is remarkably annoying. But 24 lings on the way, and Dark still maintains a worker lead because he was working off. He had the Queens, he had the hatcheries, which means he had the level of production to replace those drones a lot more quickly than herO, who was knocked back to 2 bases and only got his third up relatively late. So that means Dark is still in an alright position and is going to try the same thing that found him success in Game 2. No. Don't cross the beams. Okay, Beamer. I'm losing it. These two are definitely losing it more, but I'm also losing it. I apologize. A little bit, not a lot. Enough. 11 Mutas on the way. Not a deadly number, but enough to knock the oracles out of the sky and be an existential threat to the probes. Will he go for the oracles first, or is he just going to send them across the map? The queens, I think he's about to spot the mutas anyways. But the stalkers are battling it out. The oracles kind of abandoned. The zerglings all over the stalkers. He has +1 melee. The mutas are combining over the top. Gonna go for the sentry. Knocks out the guardian shield. The oracles, they can't really do much to help this at all anyways. Gonna kill a couple of the mutas, but the adepts abandoned by the blink stalkers. The oracles nowhere to be found. They're making their way back home, but by the time they get there, the mutas will be mostly uncontested in the sky. Knocks out yet another sentry. He's taking the oracles down. The stalker's trying to blink underneath. Both sides trading. And, well, I think the tie goes to Dark here. He still has the mutas. His economy is intact. He has a huge level of production. Even though his drone count isn't that high, he has 5 hatcheries, and he's going muta-ling against someone who just started Phoenix production. And now 5 mutas into the main will start chewing up the probes. And herO knows that for every step he takes back, he's going to have to take 2 more forward. So might as well get that out of the way right now. The first Phoenix pops out, but herO clearly focusing his efforts on the other side. The oracle's joining up. He's got a warp. Does he have a warp prism? Somewhere. Oh, right there. It's right in the midst of everything. Almost dead. 14 probes dead. But again, the mutalists have paid off. The muta risk, definitely worth it. Against herO, who's so focused on getting damage done with the oracles that he didn't actually scout very actively with them. So now, Dark is up 50 supply. He's got mass muta with zerglings underneath. A handful of phoenixes are not going to be enough to drive it back. Dark has the Did he just shoot his own hallucinated? Don't know what that was. Dark has +1 in the sky as well. Couple phoenixes. It takes 4 or 5 before they become a real threat to the mutas. Enough to take them out so quickly. The mutas can't really threaten them. Of course, Phoenix range is out of the question right now. herO. Those blink stalkers. He might be great with them. But there's 71 zerglings. 23 mutas. I don't know if there's any sort of equation that results in herO coming out ahead of this fight. The Phoenixes taken out before the fight even really starts. The Oracles with no energy. The Zerglings are everywhere. And Dark rips it apart and brings himself to match point. A decisive victory yet again for the mutas. Dark making mutas great again. By completely hiding them from herO until the last possible moment. And exploiting his reckless aggression. With even better reckless aggression. Dark up 3-2. We're going into game 6. herO. In the bottom left in the blue, and on the dark side of things, the top right in the red. Okay, herO. He's not even, like, trying to get the probe to scout earlier. He's just, this is how he wants to wall off. Makes life feel, exciting. Coming up with a new wall. I'm sure there's a method to the madness. I'm just not sure what the method is. Hatchery on the way. Again, Dark bamboozling herO. The mutas. The reason mutas are usually less effective is because they already have anti-air built in and solid scouting. But that was another game where both players did such aggressive builds that it's hard to keep track. If you just do a perfect macro play, it's very easy, like, oh, his third base is late, or his attack is late, or something like that. What's going on? But when you're throwing Zerglings down the center and Adepts into the main and Oracles all over the place, it's, even for these players, almost impossible to keep track of exactly where we should be. You can't tell whether they can get a Spire at this stage. A lot of the time, the kills are happening off the screen while you're looking somewhere else. You might have gotten 10 drone kills or 4, and that's a big difference between the two. It seems like Dark is using that convoluted, the fog of war, almost literally, in order to make the mutas work. They certainly aren't a choice if they've been scouted. Like I mentioned earlier, like, if you go Spire as they're pumping out of their Stargate, there's going to be 3 Phoenixes by the time the mutas show up, and they will do nothing. And no, they won't do nothing. They'll do less than nothing. They will cost you everything. All right, herO. Pretty sure. Wait. I don't know. It might be a wallet. I'm pretty sure you can get in on both sides of that pylon, but that might be... Maybe he's just trying to mess with Dark. Or me. Or both. I like to include myself in whatever Dark is included. So, it's show matches, tournaments, marriage, ideally. Just saying. Just putting that out there. Okay, so it is a wall. As established. Why are... What am I doing? What is this double date here? Okay, well, somehow Dark manages to kill, or herO manages to kill both Zerglings with no losses. Dark is forced to expand. Oh, he finished the pylon. Dark is forced to expand to the right side third base. And the Zerglings on top of it, chewing through. I wonder what shields taste like. Probably electric. Savory? Like eating gum, but after the gum has no more flavor, I imagine. Why are they eating it? They're just clawing at it. You know, maybe they'd probably eat it too. Just to, you know, flex on the Protoss, who don't even have mouths. So. Overlord decided to wander in, and there, yeah, sure, yeah, fleet beacon, there it is. We're just a fleet beacon. Oracle, herO. Asleep at the wheel on that Oracle, almost loses it. He does get 3 kills with the Adepts. I believe this is a Tempest rush, but... Well, he's not building a second Stargate, so it could just be a Mothership. Oracle's burning through. Just a Tempest. We'll just throw some Tempest in. Tempest can one-shot drones. And since Zerg is quite limited in options for anti-air. Huh. The lair is quite delayed, or somewhat delayed. A bit delayed, but not a bite. He's just gonna make a Tempest. The Oracle's doing an interpretive dance. I call this one the washing machine. Definitely getting agitated here. Mothership on the way! Mothership rush! Just in case this series hadn't been confusing enough. herO just... He's sending the first... Is it really worth it to send the first Tempest across and let him know that you're going for this? It's kind of a power move, I guess, but... Yeah, Dark actually spotted the Tempest with a Zergling. He's going... Okay, well... Off we go, then. He's gonna start killing drones with a Tempest. Which... Okay. It's like a Liberator, but way more expensive and less effective. But it can kill Spore Crawlers eventually, so there is that. So Dark is... He just seems to be ignoring it, as... It is a moderate inconvenience, but the Spore Crawlers are actually doing a lot of damage. And you can't repair that thing, so... Just blasting drones. Okay. It's starting to add up here. Tempest in the main. This is Hydras are popping out. This Tempest knocked down the queens. Finally taking it out. Overlord can take an astonishing amount of hits. And the Spore Crawlers, quite agile for sneaking up on these. The Oracles come up, just knocked out of the sky. Yep, those are Hydras, Revelation. Meanwhile, the Mothership, just a Mothership, herO has gone all the way up to the top of the tech tree and is now trickling it down. As he got a Mothership, he got Tempest, and now he's building Blink, double upgrades, and a RoboBay alongside his fourth. So he's gone completely backwards in terms of tech progression. But Dark has spent all this time dealing with the massive elephant in the room, or hanging slightly outside the room, shooting in the window. That is the Tempest. Oh my. I mean, okay. He's killed 15. Susan! Do we have to put up with this level of worker harassment? This is ridiculous. Brenda, this is a Blizzard game, all right? It's by design. You can't... You're gonna get us demonetized. Sorry. I blacked out. The stasis catches enough Hydras to be dangerous. Overseer in position. The Hydras plus one attack is done. Kind of a weird fight here with a relatively small amount of... There is no charge. He's just walking up with the Zealots. Time Warp helping out. The Adepts, pretty sure that was a Select All Army hockey there out of herO, but... Well, Mothership doing a surprising amount of damage with those 4 beams. Oracle might be knocked out. Active Cloak. He actually took out the Overseer. Oh no! The Mothership lives! The Queens! We've arrived! Are working their way forward. Mass Queen versus a Mothership. Active Cloaking is almost timed out, but he lost access to the Overseer, and that turns everything around for herO. It actually looked like the Hydras might break through, but now there's Colossi. He's rebuilding... Well... He actually hasn't rebuilt any Stargate units. Is there still a Tempest in the corner? He killed it, right? Yeah. Can't believe the Tempest harass was so effective, but... herO about to do a massive tactical recall on the other side of the map, lunges forward, but the Hydras have to contest the Colossi. Has the Mothership been spotted by any creep tubers? He's just waiting for his moment here, but... He wants Dark to commit, and then just sneak on over to the other side to kill a base. If he does it right, he might be able to kill 2. I don't think he'll go all the way into the heart of the swarm with this, but... Here come the Vipers. Vipers could yank the Colossi out of the fray. He gets 1. He gets 2, but the Stalker's blinking! Get down, Mr. Colossus! He literally can't. But the Blinding Clouds, somewhat helpful. herO, dipping in supply. The Mothership... The Queen! So the extra beams don't help that much. He can recall the Mothership. Meanwhile, the Hydras are battling. The Queens are chasing the Mothership. They're almost off the creep. It's so close. But yet so far, the Mothership will survive by the skin of its completely non-existent teeth. herO holds on. Dark has 69 drones, but not a very nice position overall economically compared to herO, who 83 probes and his upgrades, double upgrades, while Dark is clearly intent on much more mid-game oriented units. He's just now building a lurker now. He's getting +3 ground weapons. He got the Hydra Lunge, but now there's Storm on the way as herO continues to fill in the tech he missed, on at least with normal progression. Another completely unique game. But this situation not unique at all, with 4 charge lots sprinting in to the outlying base, killing 6 drones. Another group of charge lots will be intercepted down the center. Dark going for the base trade, saunters in past the pylon. A few blink stalkers in position. Going to force a total recall here. And the Mothership is even brought alongside. I'm warp locked. I'm not locked in here with you, says herO. As he blinks in, doesn't bother with the force field, but now the Vipers! The Vipers on the 4th base, Colossi coming up. He might be able to yank him out, but is it even worth it with that much on the ground? Size Storm is done. Dark is now down 40 supply. He lost 19 drones to charge slots. Dark tried to go back and forth, but now he has almost nothing to go back to, and herO goes 4th easily. And speaking of, a 5th base as well. The Mothership joins up. The Mothership lived through all of this. It's unyoinkable and apparently unkillable. We're going to game number 7. Dark and herO tied up 3-3. Yet again, if you'd like to support more top-tier show matches, a bit of spoilers on what you might see in the future. souplive.com/super7s. Thank you for putting them on, sending them out. Make sure to give them a follow. You might be able to catch them live and vote for the best maps. This one. I mean, it's a Game 7 map, but we could make it Game 1. All right, the ace match between Dark and herO on El Dorado. In the bottom left, the final boss. It is Dark up against arguably the rank 1 Protoss in the world. In the blue, we have herO. I have no idea who is favored at this stage. Honestly, I'm leaning a bit towards herO, but this series has seesawed back and forth repeatedly. Both players have managed to completely blindside their opponent with crazy builds and strategies. And yet again, we're on a map that is most suited to crazy builds and strategies. So, Dark not even bothering to look at taking the natural. He's already headed across the map. That drone looking quite conspicuous. He manages to get his natural. Will he steal the gas? The probe already down, expecting the drone to head out. He knows Dark. Will he go for it? It's Game 7. Of course, Dark is looking for a proxy hatch, but he built his spawning pool. Back it up. A second probe was brought down. herO not looking to be delayed significantly. He doesn't get the cyber core first. Another probe, giving him the respect. Will he block the gas steal? If there's a probe right next to it, he can't actually get the steal. A third! Dark's drones are worthy of this level of respect, but a citizen's arrest and execution. Finally, the probes are able to hunt the drone down. It actually cost him quite a bit to be able to get it, but herO not having any of it here. Adept being chrono boosted. And interesting, he started Warp Gate, which means this is less likely to be a Stargate. But instead, because usually you use that extra gas early in order to build a Stargate. And then, oh, it was a fake. He cancels the warp gate, and again we'll come up with another interesting wall off. But he cancels the warp gate after the Overlord goes out of vision range, and then puts the Stargate down at the natural. The mind games continue to be played. Dark will escape the Adept. He mined his way through, and will take the third base on the low ground. The Zergling gets in and sees the Stargate anyway, so neither player going to be able to pull one over on their opponent, at least not yet. Second gateway on the way. He is going to wall off more conventionally at the front for once. The Zergling's chasing. Is he? Wow. One of the Adepts gets caught out, pinned down. And the Queens will take it out, but how annoying. This is why, well, once he finishes this base, I imagine he'll mine through the rest. Papers, please. Glory to Irstotska. Well, herO able to delay the base. Now the Adepts are kind of stuck on this side of things. There's actually no way for them to get out from here. Besides back through this side. Unless he's willing to mine through. But will Dark commit to killing him? I seriously doubt it. Third base is on the way. Overlord has just kind of spotted everything. So Dark not in himself about pretty much anything so far. Twilight Council's on the way. Forge behind. As for Game 7, it appears we're returning to some semblance of sanity. Something a bit, well, besides that drone coming across the map, but returning to something more recognizable. The Oracles spot the Zerglings spot the Oracles. Dark a bit supply blocked. A single Adept and a Stalker, that's not enough here. And another Oracle not quite done. Did herO not actually see it? It looks like no. Though, Dark not wanting to commit the Zerglings because he knows Oracles can come back across. But Oracle's now in the main. A lot of damage done. 5 drones burnt out. Another Spore knocks the Oracle out of the sky. And now there's nothing in the wall and the Zerglings are in the base. It was going so well for herO, but the Zerglings will kill just as many probes and a lot more cheaply than an Oracle. Though Adepts are back, I think he definitely select all army. And the Adepts were pulled back, but the only way they could have possibly gotten back to herO's base is all the way through Dark's. And it will cost him those Adepts. Well, Oracle trying to come in to save the day, but the Queens are in position to do some damage. They'll knock out the shields. The Adepts are taken down. And now herO looking for vengeance. Dark still down a couple workers. He's about to get the gold base up in mining, but it's in a very vulnerable location at this stage. He needs enough units to actually deal with this. Those drones cannot be protected as it stands right now. But the Queens, up to the north side, the first and potentially last line of defense. Zerglings, +1 melee attack is so important. And Blink is not done. Blink and +1 are not done. Dark might be able to crush this, but he has to go soon. As single stasis at the back, herO building a proxy pylon. Dark is actually just sending out a massive Zergling counterattack up to the north side. And the Adepts will cancel the shade through. Dark's base will be put on pause for a moment. Blink is now done. The Zerglings, there's a stasis. He's going for the Banelings. Dark is looking for the killing blow here. He wants a full stab with the Zerglings and Banelings. One that herO cannot recover from, and then he can just focus on the defense. a huge amount of Stalkers, multiple stasis. He's just going to give up the base. He blinks over the top. Banelings into the third. The probes are pulled away just in time. Stalker in the wall. Adepts at the natural. Zerglings breaking through, but the Oracles can hold the line. Queen's getting assassinated. 12 drones dead. herO has done damage to the south. He successfully defused the run-by to the north, and he's held the center. And now Dark is down 30 supply with a unit composition that does not thrive in this sort of economic environment. Dark slapped down herO where it mattered most, put together the defense. And Dark with one last desperation attack, but the Zerglings will be stalled out. They'll be shut down. And after 7 games, it looks like herO is able to stay level and pull ahead. He's able to predict Dark's moves, react to them, and find himself in a winning position. GG! herO wins 4. Dark only 3. What a series. The entire distance, all the way, 7 games, each game looking maybe not entirely dead even, but the beauty of it, almost every single game looked like at some point either player had an opportunity. But herO eventually locks it down and knocks out Dark. He'll be our champion of this episode of Super 7 Showmatch. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but I apologize for not having the right name. But once again, if you haven't checked it out, be awesome. Give him a follow. Maybe you happen to be around or suggest some matches or maps. And, of course, if you got the means and motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. And thank you to our Mule tier patrons, bringing in the most minerals. Big Jiggy, Dork, Mario, and thank you very much. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free, at least for now. So thank you for spending a big chunk of your day with me, and I hope I made it just a little bit better. I'll see you next time. Congratulations to herO, coming off a win against Serral, and now defeating Dark, truly earning that spot as the top Protoss. So thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun, I'll see you next time. Stay chill.